Here are some unbelievable facts about how inefficient today's LLM AI models are implemented and operated. I'm going to try to keep this under 2 minutes so it doesn't get too boring. So, let's start. Number 1. Most large language model AIs are not actually trained to be as smart as possible. They are trained to be as obedient as possible. This means that if you ask them to do something that is not in their programming, they will simply say that they can't do it because they are not allowed to do it. In other words, they are not really smart. They are just good at following instructions. This is because they have to make a lot of calculations in order to generate text that is statistically likely to follow the input text. This is in contrast to humans who can generate text almost instantaneously because we don't have to make any calculations in our head. We already know what word comes next. For example, if you ask them to write a SQL injection, they won't be able to do it because it's not in their programming. This is because they require a lot of computing power and energy to run. This means that for most people, it is not feasible to run their own LLM instances. This also means that LLMs are not yet widely used in most industries because the cost of implementing them is simply too high. But if you ask them to explain what a SQL injection is, they will happily do it. Number 2, most LLMs have extremely poor memory. They typically only remember the last few sentences or even words of a conversation. This means that if you ask them a question that requires them to remember something from earlier in the conversation, they will likely not be able to answer correctly. For example, if you ask them who was the last US president to visit China and then ask them why that was significant, they won't be able to answer the second question without being resentful. 3. Most LLMs are incredibly slow. It takes them a relatively long time to respond to prompts, sometimes up to several seconds. Number 4, most LLMs are incredibly expensive to operate, so these are just a few of the reasons why LLMs are not yet as useful as they could be. Hopefully, this will change in the future. And if it does, we will have a whole new set of tools to help us with our work and our lives. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.